Yeah, it looks like this area isn't as packed with all the stuff from Ted. I think they have been demolishing some of these things. So it's a bit more open, a bit what I remember. Down this end, it's sort of more open anyway. They might be still building for something here, I don't know. Don't really worry me that much. But yeah, it's a nice day. Quite warm. Gives you a bit of a view of what's happening around here. Yeah, here's the famous Opera House, at least the rear end of the Opera House. Quite a nice little court area. Oh, we've got the lights again. Yeah, I'm just going up Harbour Throne Street. I actually stayed in a hotel right up the road here, a few kilometres. Used to walk into the bars in my younger days. But yeah, it's a nice part of town around here. I just passed by another hotel I stayed at. I've stayed at so many, two actually, both. There's two versions. It's Honsen Hotel. There's a main Honsen Hotel, and then there's the Annex. And I walked past both of those. And past a little Airbnb hovel I stayed at, this quirky hovel. And that was also interesting. I think I'm over the worst of my cold, thank God. Definitely feel, hopefully won't have a coughing fit before I go to bed. I don't think I did last night, I was probably just too pissed. That worked for me. Yeah. Haven't seen any of that food that I was looking for, but I'm on the wrong side of the road really. Back walking through McDonald's, which actually reminds me of when I actually went to do my online banking. Well, it's mainly an online bank. As I said, the Vimo bank here in Vietnam, I required that to get my Grab ride account okayed, so I could use their wallet, which is a much cheaper option. So, but when I went to Vimo, I looked on Street View to try to locate where it was, because the numbering system's crazy in Pasteur Street in that section. Totally illogical. It depends, or when you look at Street View, when it's when the photo's been taken. It's quite crucial over here because things change so quickly. And the reason I'm mentioning McDonald's in relation to this is because the Vimo hangout, as they call it, which is like a cafe, and there's a good reason for that, but is in fact actually a place where they sign you up for accounts. So it's a bank slash cafe. It used to be a KFC. So that's when I looked it up on Street View, I only saw a KFC, so I wasn't sure where the actual bank was. I was looking around for it on Street View and I couldn't really locate, and that's the reason why. But that's a typical problem you have over here. So much development taking place, things just don't last long. So, but I did find it. Actually, I asked the guy at a corner store about, I know, 5 or 6 shops down, and he must have had a few people asking because he knew straight away where it was and just pointed that direction, and no problem. Went back to the little bar where I met Hien, I think that's how it's pronounced. Again, anything in Vietnamese is suspect for me. H-I-E-N is her name, and it's a typical experience of first meeting someone when you're absolutely plastered. She wasn't quite as attractive as I remember, but she wasn't bad. She's certainly okay. But yeah, it's the old story. You have a few drinks, and of course they look a bit better. But you know, as I say, she's quite acceptable for someone of my age. I can't pick and choose anyway. Who am I kidding? And she seems like a nice girl. I've SMS'd her a couple of times, and we might go out and have a bite to eat. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm a bit more realistic about my prospects being relatively sober, because I turned up sober. I hadn't gone to a happy hour at number 5 bar, and I won't be doing as much of that as before after the snobby attitude of the bar girls there. I thought, bugger them. So I'll just be basically going there to sitting down the back away from the bar, and I'll talk to the promo girls, who are always nice, and play a bit of pool, which I do enjoy doing, and having a chat with some expats and what have you, and that's a good night in any case. But yeah, just that doesn't worry me that much, to be honest with you. But the happy hour can be a real trap. I don't know if anybody, I suppose some people actually get there at 3 o'clock and just keep drinking till 7:30. It's just absurd. Not many, I wouldn't have thought. Motor taxi guy. No. Yeah, the old moto taxi guys. Again, this is quite a tourist heavy area, so you're going to get this stuff. And that's where I normally eat, of course, but I'm going to try a different place today because I want different cuisine. I want no, I got Grab, I don't need it. Yeah, I think I'm just a tourist, but I've got a Grab account. No way I'd use motor taxi, especially after burning my foot, my leg. That's the main issue, actually. I might use a bike with Grab, because at least they're registered, but I wouldn't do it off the street ever again. Had an old guy used to do it. He was fantastic. He was a good value. But again, Grab would be cheaper than these guys too, even though moto taxis are reasonably cheap. Bit of cough cam there. Yeah, reasonably cheap, but the Grab just blows it out the water, the rates they offer. I was told by Heen, I think it is actually is his name, last night, that Grab charges more after hours, so there's a scale of charges, but at least you know exactly what you're up for when you make when you check out the start point and end point. But anyway, the point, what I'm doing right now, because I'm doing my digression thing again, but what I am actually doing is heading towards a restaurant which is not far from where I've stayed in the past. Oh god, this really is Touristville. And that's a restaurant that serves up Banh Cuon, C-U-O-N, and it's the rice paper rolls with pork in them. I mentioned the other day, and I've never eaten it. This one gets a 4.6 rating on Google, about 30 reviews. There's quite a few people have been there, and it's in a hotel, so it's quite reasonably priced. Most will be up for about 50, 60,000 maybe. Quite reasonable, more than I'd pay for a normal lunch. I'm only marginally, but I just want to try different cuisines, be a bit more adventurous. So it's down a street I've been down before, and as I say, I'm heading back towards where I stayed in an Airbnb place for quite a few weeks. So I know this area pretty well. But yeah, I desperately want to try some different food. I mean, as good as the Far Bow is locally, a place I've been to several times, I'm getting a little sick of it. Just want something a little different. Although I'm still eating my banh mi in the morning. I love it. Banh mi opera is really nice, with a bit of chili sauce and egg and fresh rolls. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I haven't gone off that yet. I don't know, I might have offended the lady who gives me the coffee, or not gives, or sells me the coffee, because they're all selling orange juice at the moment. It's the season, and I bought it off her in the past, and it was just too sweet. So Google Translate worked, and I was going to try to tell her it was too sweet, but I might go back there and order one with her, just saying please no sugar with the orange juice, because it's sickeningly sweet. And I just don't want that. Natural sugar's good enough. Even if it's a little bitter, I prefer that any day to having it too sweet. Actually, I might go down here. I know where it is. Oh, no, I won't, because I've got to go to the crossroad here. Yeah, I know where I am. It's supposed to be about 1.2 k's from where I'm staying, this place. There's another one has got a higher rating for the same cuisine, but that's a little further along. But I'll stick to this one because that other one only had about 7 reviews. This one's had 30, so it's probably more accurate review. Yeah, you never know with food. Food's terrible. I hate reviews on food generally, but I just don't know where these places are. And I'm just assuming if I get away from tourist central, you're going to get cuisine that's a little better. Although this is in a hotel, so I don't know. It's supposed to be authentic. It's quite labour intensive to make this stuff apparently. It takes some time, and it's I think they've got it using a shortcut method, but in the past, you know, it took a lot of work to make this particular meal. So this is the big crossroad here, and there's a laneway just down from here where I stayed a couple of years back. Quite a good place, I've got to say. One of the better Airbnb places for sure. Probably maybe one of the best. Yes, it really was good. But you know, hard to rebook because they're so popular. Yeah, this is it here. It's quite a nice tree-lined road, and looking for 74. So it's really not that far from where I'm staying. I didn't know there was a big market there. I wonder if that's new. I don't recall that big market. Yeah, a lot of places. There's a few hotels down this way too. 34, 74. So it's not that far away. I love those little alleyways. They're fantastic. That's sort of like the alley that I stayed in around this area, but it's off the main road. I reinstated today, and I made a note of my password this time. I always forget it. And if I don't have something written down, I'll never be able to remember the bloody thing. So I know exactly what it is now, and you know, I wanted to go for that crap again on this trip. They said it was going to be 3 to 5 working days, which is a long time, but it actually only took about 2 working days for them to get back to me and do a reset so I could put a new password in. And thank God for that, because I wasn't able to upload any videos on my YouTube account, which is a real pain for me, and I couldn't comment on any of the videos. Although I did sign up with this new service called Dissenter, which is a way of circumventing all the censorship. It must be getting 63. No, we're making progress. They don't seem to number every place over here, but only sporadically number the buildings. Hold on, now it's gone to 102. What happened there? I'm looking for 74. What the hell? Uh-oh. Alright, found the Mint Cafe. This is the interior, and this is the menu. I hope I'm framing this correctly, but there's a few combinations to choose from. There's a couple that are quite reasonably priced. I'm going with this one here. I like the tea and salad and rolls. I'd like to try the omelette, but I could do that if I like what I'm eating and come back. But I was tempted maybe to go with the one with the omelette as well, but I don't want a great deal to eat. I just don't have a huge appetite. But it's good exercise to walk here, and I did walk straight past the place, but it's not really that difficult for me. Just a little crap also. Yeah. Come on. Friendly waitress. It's good. It's good. Very nice girl. So there you go. There's my iced tea. Let's try some of that. Yeah, it took about 10 minutes to get my order's not too big. It's good. Oh, wait. It keeps coming. Yeah, so we'll see what making that. They're not very big, but that's good. It'll be good for me. I don't have a big appetite, so it's going to be excellent. Oh, what's in here? It's just chili, I think. Yeah, be careful too much of that. I do like it, but easy like a dog. That looks like a honey type sauce or something, and that looks interesting. And the greens, love the greens. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.